Testing, testing. Alright, that is quite the delay. Hello everyone, my name is Ethonra, and welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV. Final Fantasy XIV, not Shadowbringers, Endwalker. Sorry about that. A little bit distracted. So I did something different this morning. Instead of hopping on immediately at like 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning, I decided to sleep in for my own benefit and got on around 8:50, and I was able to get in just fine, which is great because that means I don't have to waste, 3 hours or so just for the roulettes to reset. In addition to that, I also ate and have drunk, so I'm good to go. Should be able to go for a good long while, so let's see where we stand. Fair enough. Again, fair enough. Oh. Dang. That's quite interesting considering, I mentioned the other day how nice it would be to see how Moonbreeder would turn out if she was still here with us. And then Urianger says that. It's really interesting. Kind of wish I could have seen that dream. Yeah, that's relatable. I noticed this expansion, they gave us a lot of opportunities to rest. Probably doesn't sound like a big deal, and in a way it isn't. But I don't remember getting this many opportunities with the other expansions, which is fair, considering the other expansions weren't quite literal end of the world like this one is. That'd be cool if we could spar with a Stinian. I would definitely do it. I wouldn't mind spending time with Raha either. Yeah, good point. That's true. Just like we know that stubbornness, that's where Alice got it from. Cheating way. Sorry, I don't know why my voice is not normal. I'll deal with you later. You know what? I actually want to prove it just to see. I'm willing to bet because their name is Cheating Way. I'm all but certain they're going to have the open rule. I can't remember what it's called. I think it's the one I'm thinking of. Yeah, sure. plus. That's what it's called. I hate this rule. Plus is the one I was thinking of. I hate plus. And of course you got swap. So, like I said, deal with you later. But I knew it. Cheating way. Of course you would have plus. You don't say. Oh, really? Well, this is definitely a pleasant surprise, because I griped enough about it, how the new clothes we got the expansion was one we've already gotten. So happy about this. Let's see if it's as hyped up as it should be. You know, Taru's masterpiece, because the one she made for, I want to say Shadowbringers might be the one I'm thinking of, was pretty good, or prior to it. Oh yeah, right. I see what's going on. Hey, look who it is. Fair enough. There you go. That is true. Both of these are both true, but I'd rather not bring the mood down. Because I'm pretty sure he'll say something like, oh, I'm sure that Ahawan is looking down upon us from the heavens, which, fair. The spirits seem to be able to linger and observe, as we saw in the last dungeon. So I'll say this, because this one I obviously do want, in fact, do. I actually need to do it, as a matter of fact. Yeah, exactly. Since Taro refers to as a boutique, I imagine there's more than one set. So if there's anything really, really good, might even bring Lalafell Zeo back. Not for this expansion, or at least not for this part of the story. What's going on over there? We'll finish it off with Ara Zeo, of course, but just saying. Oh, look who it is. At least this way we won't hear his annoying voice. Yeah, I mean, come on. Yeah, cheerio and all that. Nope, they're still over there. I'm gonna find out what's going on over there once this is over. Oh boy. Now see, it makes sense why the Mafia music will be playing for him. Wisest decision you've made all day. Well, I'm happy to see one of the two of you. Hey, good job pointing yourself out, the one that I don't want to see. The music is great, though. No, trust me, I saw him. And Tiny Omega. Get out of here, Wedge. I was expecting the background to be a bit different. Speaking of Alpha and Omega, though, you do actually see them wandering the realm every once in a while if you're super, super lucky. I recognize her. At least I think I do. She looks like, because the hair and the eyes look familiar. Yeah. It's kind of hard to tell with the lighting. But her skin tone's also familiar. Mm-hmm. Oh, I wonder if this is where I get the level 90 stuff. That'd be nice. Huh. That sounds like a yes. Okay. This is exactly what they said. I was just curious. Physical. Oh, I was about to say, yeah. So, boots and gloves. That's much better. Yeah, I believe I have seen this glam before. Not that it ultimately matters. Here we go. Oh, absolutely. But right now, I need a materia melder. I almost don't want to do this just because the gear is level 89. So, yeah. But just for the sake of having, you know, as best buffs possible, I'll go ahead and do it. I need to put on skill speed, don't I? Let me see. Yeah, I'm doing skill speed. Because I hate how slow this class can be at times. I would have done it for the scythe, but I wasn't thinking. Whoop. Just to be sure, I want to make sure. Because I will put skill speed on here. And it looks like I can, so let's do that. Every time Al-Raziel has removed materia, it's always been successful. I think that's curious. Let's see, skill. Perfect. Alright. That'll do for now. People often make memes and jokes about the Chocobo saddlebag being so full. They really should talk about more about the armory chest. Wonder if you can fish here. I forgot to turn my phone on again. You all might have heard it earlier, but I was messaging a friend, making sure they're all right. Oh, I'm all but certain it's his fault they are on a shortage. Well, thank you.
Your business with Tataru was finished. My, what a thoughtful surprise. Whatever would we do without her?
Indeed. And she's right, you know. It hasn't been all doom and gloom.
Feels like a lifetime ago that Master Louis Soir gathered us together to form the Circle of Knowing. Since then, we have experienced much. But rather than feeling wiser, the more I learn, the more I find my knowledge lacking.
Forsooth. As a student, vainly did I believe that I held the secrets of creation in my grasp. Yet that which I had seized was but an insignificant sliver of what awaited in the wider world. Every encounter, every experience hath served to open mine eyes, enlightening and humbling me in equal measure. Even from those whom I called enemies have I learned many a valuable lesson.
What will we learn at the edge of the universe, I wonder?
Ultima Thule, where the bringer of the end makes her nest. I, for one, can't possibly imagine. But whatever awaits us there, we will survive. We must. For her. Gods, it feels like only yesterday that we went on that mission to Drybone.
Hey, he remembers.
We've both changed much since then, have we not?
I don't want to give him too much credit, because, yeah, that's right. You have to. It just feels a bit more special for me, because being a pugilist, you start in Ul'dah, so Thancred is the scion that's assigned to the area, so you bond with him more than the others. So for a split second there, I thought he was referencing that, but then I remembered that is tied to Ifrit, which isn't optional. It just felt a little more special. Maybe the dialogue be a bit different if I started in Limsa and Gridania and then met Thancred later. He probably would say something different, but beyond that, yeah. I hate how it always starts on yes.
We've come far together, and if we have aught to say about it, we'll go further still. Aye, we will avert this calamity and return home. In preparation for which, we must give thought to what we hope to achieve after the proverbial dust has settled.
What with the primals and Ascians all but dealt with, I suppose we'll need to look for new hobbies. In all seriousness, though, in uniting to overcome a common foe, the disparate peoples of the world have found a way forward together. It's a truly gratifying sight to see.
Indeed. Though it was many years in the making, we have successfully set in motion the gears of fundamental change. With this, we have fulfilled our humble role as a symbol of hope. And I dare say it is time to bow out. After all, there is no shortage of hands to bear the torch in our stead.
You know, I never really considered I might live long enough to see an after. But even if my time as a scion came to an end, I don't expect that much would change. Traveling the world, going wherever the wind blows, lending a hand to those in need.
A journey for journey's sake. It doth suit thee well. I must confess, I too have yearned to see more of the world. If thou art amenable to the suggestion, I would accompany thee. Mine ability to effect an air of normalcy through artful disguise is much improved, thou must concede.
Aye, well, improvement is relative. You still look suspicious no matter what you wear. What of you, Ethonra? Any grand plans?
Why, continue my quest for knowledge, naturally. To begin with, I wish to know the state of the reflections, to which end I must find a means to travel between worlds. 'Tis the least I must do if I am to keep my promise. Should my pursuits prove unduly arduous, I won't hesitate to call on you. And in return, I will take you to see Reen one day. I'm sure you cannot wait to see the fine young woman she has become.
Spare me.
And what of thee? What wouldst thou pursue at duty's end?
Here's yours. My apologies for the wait.
Well, shall we make a toast? To victory.
To our comrades.
To the future of the star.
Makes me wonder if I was using Lalafell Zio, if he would have got a mug instead of a wine glass. I want to say yes. I'm almost certain the answer is yes, but still. I guess I'll know when I watch Sync's videos on it. Because he's definitely beaten the story by now. I just haven't been watching him. Wanted to do my own thing for a bit. Not accidentally spoil myself. I like how they do mention that Warrior of Light just nods a lot. I think Alphino might have been the first one to mention it way back in A Realm Reborn in the Waking Sands. Urianger's drunk. Yes, I have a rule. Never let Zio get drunk around other people. She only drinks alone. Okay, let me think. That one's got to be Alpha. No, that's Alice. There's Alphino. We'll go see Alphino then. I keep forgetting I don't have to do that. Let's see. I don't recall ever, that's interesting, they are over here too. I don't remember ever complaining that I wish they did that, but I still welcome the change because it's a quality of life change. I mean, he's not wrong. Seen him in that set at least 3 or 4 times. It is kind of cool seeing them.
Oh, what brings you here?
It is kind of cool seeing them side by side because they both wear blue. Something you might not think about because, again, he usually wears his armor, which to be fair is kind of that same shade of blue, but it doesn't quite stand out as much when it's cloth like this.
Ah, so you were worried that the Levier household might again be gripped by turmoil. All is well, I assure you. In my letters home, I had made mention of Estinian, you see. My mother wished to meet the legend in person, and so we arranged to have a spot of tea together.
Okay. I just wanted to stop it because this is a good example of what I meant by the ancients having Elezen-like bodies. This is a good time to see what I meant about Estinian's arms. Look how long they are. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. It just...
Where were you in my hour of need? Fell beasts I can face, but I'm not made for idle chit-chat with lords and ladies.
Oh, you'll be fine.
Well, I for one thought you held your own. Mother was the picture of delight.
I might have been delighted myself, were we in a tavern with more agreeable drink. The thought of fleeing crossed my mind, but what then? I'd never hear the end of it, least of all from Tataru.
I'm sorry. 'Twas not my intent to cause you such distress. It's just... It was one of the things I didn't want to leave undone ere we set forth. That's not to say I think we won't be returning. Yet, given what lies ahead, I did not wish to leave for later that which I could do today. After all, tomorrow is never promised.
It's fine. Not like I had better things to do. Besides, seeing you with your mother brought back fond memories of my own. Be we rich or poor, family is family. Well, it's past time we were on our way.
Wait! Since I left home, I've made a great many mistakes. Mistakes for which I can never make amends. But through it all, you didn't give up on me. To have returned here with you at my side, it means more to me than you know.
Hear that? He appreciates us not giving up on him. You know, unlike the fan base who was giving him such a hard time last expansion.
Thank you. From the bottom of my heart.
You are most welcome.
Forgive me, but it needed to be said.
I'm the one who owes you thanks. Were it not for you, I would not be alive today, nor come to terms with Nidhogg's spirit. I am ever grateful.
Yeah, that's fair. Let's thank them both. Just complete the gratitude circle. Or triangle, as it were.
Well, we needn't make it a competition. You know, this must be what Hydaelyn meant when she spoke about depending on one another. However treacherous the road before us, together we will prevail.
Can't help but notice, you know, Estinian, Ishgard, snowing. Makes me wonder if that's only for this side of the island at this time of the day, or if it's actually happening all over. Yep, it's snowing all over the island, so that was just a happy coincidence. And it probably goes without saying, but I am surprised this is not another one that has the journal entry updating, because it seems like it would. Not sleepy boy and sleepy girl. Man, they must be really tired of it falling asleep out here and it's snowing. Yeah, Raha actually is asleep. Maybe I took too long to get here. Oh, isn't that sweet?
Oh.
Knowing them, they're probably dreaming about the celestial adventures to come. Just as well. They've been running themselves ragged of late. Unlike you and the others, I'm a few steps removed from the danger and excitement. The things you all get up to never fail to impress me. But by the same token, I can't help but worry. Not only for your safety, but for your happiness. After everything you've sacrificed, you earned it 1,000 times over. From the simple pleasures of tucking into a hearty meal or collapsing into a comfortable bed, to the grand triumphs of visiting legendary lands or finding true love, you deserve all the joy in the world. There is so much that life has to offer, so much to be treasured and shared with those we hold dear. So promise me this. Come what may, you won't give up on your own happiness. When you're out there fighting tooth and nail, it's all too easy to forget. But in the end, your passions will be your greatest strength of all. Remember that.
This feels familiar. Well, 'tis good to be...
Deja vu?
Wait. What am I... Gods, don't tell me I fell asleep.
Not that there's any shame in it, but you were sleeping like babies.
Oh, how embarrassing.
Not a word to anyone. Understood? Not one word. I'm told that sleeping in proper beds of your own choosing is a much more effective way to prepare for battle.
So, what were the two of you doing here?
I had a few books to return to the library. Thought I'd take care of it while I could.
And you?
I do love how Alice tells the most quiet person in the entire group not to tell anyone what happened. That's pretty funny. That'd be funny to see. I wouldn't mind sparring with Alice either. Oh, let me go see if that guy is here, the one that mentions Papa Limo. I mean, he is. I just meant more like, one, can I find him? And two, will he still mention him? Is this guy right here. This Elizin. Yeah, see? It's interesting that he says about Papa Limo instead of by or written by or something along those lines, because that makes it sound like the book, or rather the paper, is about his life and death as opposed to a work or publishing, you know what I mean, written work he's done. I like how I know words like conflagration, but I still have trouble making sentences. Hey, that's where we fought Xenos as Shinryu. Speak of the devil. I know that's been like 3 times this expansion, but still. Nah, that's why he looked different. His fusion is obviously different from ours.
You will never get what you want. Not even the battle you pine for so dearly. In that transcendent moment, what was it that I sought in you? And what was it that you sought in me?
Really makes me wonder about Xenos' character. I don't expect him to turn over a new leaf by any means, but I'm still curious where his story is going.
How often have we thus assembled? To combine our knowledge and seek solutions to the problems before us.
Excuse me.
Back at the Waking Sands, it was all we could do to address the most minor of troubles. Who could have realized what we'd find when we began to look to the sources of the realm's woes?
At the Rising Stones, we made great strides and shared many moments. From the joyous to the sorrowful.
We've had occasion to call other places home too. Be it Ishgard or Kugane, we were fortunate to find sanctuary wherein we might take stock and continue our fight.
I was honored to host this company in the Crystarium, to stand with you all as we confronted the truth of the star itself.
And now from this place, we go to fight the most important battle of all. The Forum has sent word. The Ark is ready. The Loporrits naturally will be commanding the vessel. They will see the 8 of you to Ultima Thule.
Mm-hmm.
Upon arriving, your objective is to find and vanquish Meteon. As a final formality, the Forum bade me ascertain your resolve. So, are you certain you wish to do this?
We are.
Then, ere you report to Thalmasane, I leave you with these words. You must triumph. What that means will differ for each of you. To make it back home, or to simply avert doom, or perhaps something else altogether. Yet whatever it is that drives you, I have faith in its power to see you through. So please, triumph. Triumph, as we who remain behind believe you will.
Let us be off then.
Wait! Both Kryl and I will be there to see you off, but as your receptionist, I feel I need to say this here. Safe journey, all of you, and be safe.
Also, I wanted to kind of take back what I said a little bit. Taru I thought was going to give us a unique story outfit. She kind of did, kind of didn't. Case in point, the Shadowbringers one or Heaven's Word, whichever one it was a full set. It's the set that we took into the first, if that makes any sense. The one with the hood and the mesh mask, that one. It was all black, mostly all black, that one. I was expecting something like that, not class job specific armor. So in a way, she did and she didn't. But still, I think it is cool that we get our new set of class armor from Tataru. So I'm willing to let it slide. Don't worry, I'm not going to gripe about it. Believe it or not, the music is actually appropriate right now. And again, music has turned appropriate. Wear some heavy-duty armor for a researcher. Man, that's quite a way to weave words together. Oh, I believe it. That's a fair point, but I'm sure he has a good reason. We really should start recruiting more scions. We really should. That is true. That is also true, and an interesting theory. Live stream. Live stream. Well, that's comforting. That's very true. Man, she had some awesome parents. Yep. Yeah, that's good. I was surprised they were here too. Honestly, I'm surprised there's not more. Sure, in a moment.
All present and accounted for? Good. As you will have heard, the Ark is ready. All that remains is to board and be on your way.
I've seen my fair share of tight schedules, but this was bloody murder.
Oh, no.
But we did it. We finished the ship.
I didn't notice it the first time he spoke, because he only said, like, what, 2 or 3 sentences? They changed Sid's voice, too. And it's worse. Just like the other guys. Oh, that's unfortunate.
It's safe, fit for purpose, and looks good to boot. Aye, it's a Garland through and through.
To be fair, his voice does match his appearance more. Even though Sid is not really old, he just looks old because of the beard and the white hair, but the voice matches his appearance more. But the other one, I would say it's still a better Sid voice, just because we've heard it for so long. Still, I can warm up to this one better than I can what's-his-face with the annoying voice now. So, it is what it is, I guess.
I really don't know what we'd do without you. Thank you for everything.
Don't mention it. Ever since that episode with Omega, I've been toying with the idea of starfaring vessels. And as they say, necessity is the mother of invention. We've learned a lot, let me tell you. In case you're wondering about payment, the ongoing existence of the world ought to do. But feel free to throw in a colorful recounting of your journey on your return.
I'm sorry, but you see what I mean? It's like the little jokes and jabs fit the other Sid better, but this Sid sounds more like the grumpy old man, you know, typically what Sid is depicted as being. That being said, I still feel I like the other Sid more. Like, I'm sure I can warm up to this one, but nowhere near as much as the old Sid. Not just because the voice was better, but dialogue like that suits that Sid's voice better than this one. This one you expect to sound like Final Fantasy VII Sid. That's the kind of voice this one has, as opposed to the lightheart. Good example. Good example. For those of you who can brave the storm, go do Praetorium, where you fight Ultimate Weapon. Listen to Sid there and his banter and compare it to this, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about.
So, have you thought of a name?
A name? Wasn't everyone just calling it Father's teeny tiny toy boat?
Well, seeing as its purpose has changed, I thought a more eloquent name was in order. I suggested as much to Fortuno, who seemed quite amenable to the idea.
As you know, this vessel is the culmination of heretofore unprecedented collaboration. And though said collaboration is owed to the Scions, there is another whose noble deeds made our work possible. From a fragment of Dalamud, we obtained not only advanced materials such as refined adamantite, but the knowledge to traverse the stars. And this fragment would not have found its way to us had the Archon Louisoix not fought to protect this world. And in so doing, laid down his life.
I was hoping he'd mention Louisoix.
Now that the vessel stands complete, I cannot help but wonder if it was more than mere happenstance. If it was my father's intention to guide us here. In the hopes that his guidance will see you all safely home, I name the vessel after that self-same fragment of Dalamud he delivered unto us. The Starship Ragnarok.
I dig it. Excuse me. It needs a cool name.
Sorry for the wait. I got everyone you asked for, and not a one less.
Yeah, I figured he had a good reason.
What are you all doing here?
Good question. Should be obvious, though.
I invited them. The representatives of those tribes with religious inclinations. You've done a fine job of readying the Ragnarok, but for it to take flight, we'll of course need the power of the Mother Crystal. Given its immense size, however, transporting it would be an absolute logistical nightmare, not to mention we'd need to shatter it into tiny shards for feeding to the engines. But a brilliant idea came to me. We convert the crystal's energy into forms that can transport themselves!
Thou wouldst employ summoning, or should I say its precursor, creation magics.
Care to explain for our benefit?
As you may have witnessed at Bestway's Burrow, the Loporrits are capable of creation magics, which they use to shape the moon's environment. Yet simple though they make it seem, 'tis a highly advanced and exacting art. To perform it correctly requireth that the wielder holdeth the object in his mind's eye in clearest detail.
Hence the ancients' meticulous management of concepts.
Drawing upon this art, the Ascians conceived of summoning as we know it, a derivative that replaceth the complexity of concepts with the simplicity of zealotry to make manifest a creation.
I see.
I see. By combining the Loporrit's magics and the tribe's faith, we convert the Mother Crystal into primals of purer form and greater obedience. Summoning as it was intended, one might say.
Indeed! Indeed! While Hydaelyn gave us the ability to use creation magics, she forbade us from using it to make anything possessed of a soul, or similar. She didn't say anything about fulfilling the desires of others, though. So, borrowing our friend's faith, we'll create deities using the Mother Crystal's power and send them to the Ragnarok!
Am I the only one here concerned about the risk of being turned into a tempered minion?
Oh, right, I was getting to that. From what I've read in Sharlayan tomes, it appears the Ascians incorporated an additional nasty element into their summoning method. The fervent desire to assimilate others into one's belief. Beings thus created are instilled with the self-same desire and use their powers to enthrall people, starting with the summoner. In contrast, our creation magics, the original and the best, except no substitutes, don't incorporate any of that rubbish, so there's no risk of tempering. I mean, if the being was on the scale of Zodiac, you might feel a little tug, but I think we'll be safe enough.
Truth be told, I do not understand the intricacies of this plan. But none of us would ever turn our backs on you. When the avatars of our faith ran amok, you intervened without decrying we who birthed them. Where others vilified and suppressed us, you offered understanding and friendship. In gratitude, we will share with you the true expressions of our gods. Not malevolent deities, but benevolent saviors.
Alright, you lot, we're heading to the ethereal sea. Stay in sight, else you're liable to get lost.
Lead the way.
May we have a moment? In anticipation of the day man might journey to the stars, we developed these.
Portable teleportation devices. One for each of you, designed to work in tandem. Press the button on one, and in a matter of moments, all 8 will activate and send their owners back to the Ragnarok. There is no telling what hazards you may encounter. If you find yourself separated or lost, please, do not hesitate to use them.
There was a visual bug there for a second. I think it was, at least. There was like some kind of ghostly visage behind her.
Be safe, all of you, and come back.
You as well. I pray you take care.
Looks like everything is in order, so I'll go ahead and board. A few of my fellows will remain to assist with the summonings, but rest assured, the vessel won't want for competent crewing.
If you are ready, then you should board as well. Go, and Godspeed.
Naturally. Alright, I'm just gonna... Okay, so he should say something different now. Yeah. Okay, so I'm guessing... Oh, I don't remember talking to... Oh, that's right, because they just got here. I was about to say, I don't remember talking to Nero. I'm just going to remember Cid's old voice in my head while I read this. Wedge, I really don't want to talk to you, but I don't want to talk to you last either, so... Wait, Wedge, I think there is something I actually forgot. There we go. Start right about here. And then moving down. All right. I'm only feeling a little sleepy because of the food, but I'll persevere. Because we're already at level 89, so can't be too much left. It's very Allegan in here. Yeah, exactly. I'm glad they showed that, because I was thinking, isn't he one of the pilots? Do we really want a sleepyhead to be the pilot?
Welcome to the bridge, everyone! I hope you have everything, because I can't be bothered turning back. Right then, make yourselves comfortable. We're setting off in just a moment.
It's incredible.
This is Fortuno. Can you hear me? The preparations for the summonings are complete. In accordance with the 14th phase of the plan, we have moved the Ragnarok to the launch site. The gates are open. You may depart when ready.
So, are we ready?
As ready as we'll ever be. Let's get going.
Oh, come on. A burnt-out star's got more fire in its belly. Try it again, with feeling.
Engage!
Got brute justice flashbacks there for a moment. Oh, that's cool. And it's way bigger than I thought. I'll say this now. I might have been slightly spoiled on Meteon's appearance, for lack of better terms, because some genius thought it was a good idea to use her as a thumbnail. So I have a rough idea of what she's going to look like. And I don't think they're like me, to where, you know, they're at the mercy of whatever YouTube chooses to give. I think they actually chose it because it was a bit too perfect to be just a random in-game thumbnail. Hey, I like Ravana. Mugamog the 12th. Garuda, Susanoo.
Ah! That I must carry landwalkers into the sky! I cannot imagine a greater indignity!
I thought you were supposed to be cool now.
Do not sulk so. For thy mighty winds exist not only to buffet and batter. Nay, they may serve also to thrust forth with vigor. Such is thy glory, and thus it is an occasion to rejoice.
Susanoo has always been cool.
So come, let us revel!
AKA Happy Ravana.
So long as the wind blows freely, I suppose all is as it should be in creation. I will render unto them a storm, that they may pierce the firmament and fly free!
Speaking of Meteon, obviously I'll try to do the solo trial, but if I just keep flopping over and over and over again, then I will just bring in people. So we'll see how many times I fail before I do that. And I do mean true failures, not just using up that will to live debuff.
Still in one piece? Good. Sleeping way? Report?
All's well. Fantastic, even. Thanks to the power of those primals, the engines are roaring and we're ripping along.
All values are also within projected ranges. Time to destination is 8 carats. Perhaps 7 at a pinch.
They measure things in carats.
All right, let's go over some points of caution. Our destination, as you know, is Ultima Thule. Lest you wonder, the place is not a star so much as a patch of emptiness. That's the extent of what our equipment could determine, anyway. From what we know of Meteion, she's likely used Dynamis to obfuscate her location.
So, in conclusion, we'll only know what's there when we get there.
The crew and I will see to it the ship's ready to take off at a moment's notice. We'll support the search as best we can, but it'll be your paws on the ground, assuming there is any. But everything will be fine, I'm sure. Hydaelyn believes in you, so you ought to believe in yourselves. Just don't do anything I wouldn't, like waiting too long to use those portable teleporters of yours.
Yeah.
Personally, at the slightest sign of trouble, I'd mash the button to bits, and you should as well.
Understood. We promise to be careful.
I suggest you brace yourselves. We're about to arrive and the vessel will shake a good bit.
What is this? Something is interfering with the equipment.
It begins.
Greetings. Greetings. Can you hear me?
So this is Meteion.
Oh. Have you met one of my sisters? I don't remember meeting you myself. But I do know that you're from Etheris. Why have you come? All you had to do was wait. I would have delivered to you your ends.
We didn't ask for that.
I don't understand. All life is destined to end. Why choose to prolong your suffering?
Be that as it may, that's still our choice. You know, fair
Effort,
choice.
ambition, love. They amount to naught. Happiness, should you find it, is inevitably lost. Stolen away by events beyond your control. There is no logic nor meaning in it. You think there is. Convince yourselves. But it's all a cruel accident. Come now. I speak the truth. A truth you would recognize if you looked up at the night sky. Unbroken emptiness. Cold, dark, and silent. Your world, like every other, is but a blemish upon its perfect fabric. Life is an anomaly. It is unnatural and cannot continue. The sooner you accept this, the easier it will be.
Just to be clear, we're not here to argue with you.
Better, girl.
We know that life is fleeting, and that in the short time we have it, we're not assured happiness.
Indeed. I've seen far more sorrow in the eyes of many I've met. I myself have plenty of regrets. And one day they'll die with me. Gone to dust with my good deeds and unfulfilled dreams.
But we accept this. That our existence may seem pointless. That sorrow, rage, and despair will always dog our heels. And we press on regardless. That is why Hydaelyn guided us here. In her boundless love for mankind, she has prepared us for this trial. And in her name, we have come for you.
Yes, I sense it. A burning passion like unto fury. I know it well. For the same passion once burned in many a star before yours. Suffocated and extinguished now. I can't breathe. You approach the bounds of my ultimatum, where emotions dictate reality, where resignation and acceptance unite to embrace the end, where those who yet valiantly cling to life can thrive.
It's like, come on, Thancred, you're the tank. You gotta do it. I'm surprised Raha was the first to hit the ground, though. And where's Thancred?
By the Fury.
Thancred?
Meteion has gone as well. Mayhap he awakened first and gave chase.
Everyone? It appears we are at our destination. This is Ultima Thule.
Not that we knew what to expect, but I wasn't expecting this. From atmospheric composition to ambient temperatures, all reading to within permissible range. This place is capable of supporting life.
If that's the case, then Thancred may well have gone on ahead. Let's go and have a look.
Well, to be fair, Meteion, or Meteons, or whatever they are still organic beings, so it would stand to reason they would probably still need basic life functions. Though, it does seem like they can survive in the vacuum of space. So I guess that's just gameplay logic. That, they would allow this place to sustain life when they don't need it.
Meanwhile, I want the rest of you to perform a full inspection of the ship, as well as a biological scan.
I'm hoping Thancred's okay, because I mentioned this a couple of streams ago. One of the well, I kind of mentioned it because I encouraged you all to go look for yourselves, but one of the possible conversations you can have at the door is with Thancred, and basically he asks you to knock some sense into him if he starts doing anything silly. Let's hope that doesn't come to blows.
So it was that the brave wayfarers arrived at last at Dream's End.
Now there's a narrator I don't mind.
In following their path walked, and history written, I am made keenly aware of one truth.
Though the curtains may fall again and again, so long as others take the stage, ever shall there be more tales to tell. So, let them bring it to a close, I say. Let the curtains fall upon this, the final chapter in the tale of the star.
4 full expansions too early. I really do wish they had...
Is this a dead star?
I really wish they had spread them out more, but oh well.
As I live and breathe, I live and breathe. Well, the environment itself shouldn't kill us.
Yeah, but why not?
Well then, let us search for Thancred while exploring the area. The ship we leave in your care.
By the way, I guess I should be more clear. When I say expansions, I simply meant... Oh, okay. That one has the saws on it, but they're not actually moving. Interesting. Anyway, when I say expansions, obviously I mean post-expansion. Like how Shadowbringers all didn't happen in the one expansion. This just feels a bit much. The pacing, like I said, is more or less fixed now, but it still feels a bit too fast. Don't worry, for the sake of game logic, she won't do it again. Or at least not to the point we can't fight back. Thancred. Is it the absence of all life? Could that possibly be it? I'm sorry, I'm starting to get agitated. I'll back off. No, that's not good. If Estinian of all people is feeling off balance. Yeah, I was gonna say, there's gonna be these here. Don't ask me why, but okay. I mean, I know why, gameplay logic, but still. Wait, what'd she say? For a second there, like she was saying the same thing. Wait a minute. I don't remember seeing him, but where was Raha? I don't remember seeing him in that crowd. And that takes me back to Labyrinthos, not the actual ship, so... We'll go on foot so we can hear some of this music. A strange new world. Oh, that's clever. I like how they did the font. I was gonna say, you know, the fact that there's Aetherite here, clearly this was a living world at one point, like, obviously. Like I said, gameplay logic, that's the closest I can come to as to why there'd be Aetherites here. That's a creepy looking dragon. Look at those eyes. Makes me wonder what exactly happened here. What world was this? You know, like, what did they try to achieve and inevitably fail? They apparently were big on dragons, whatever they were. I guess I'll go ahead and fight one. I was trying to hold back, but oh well. Oh, there's Raha. Either I didn't straight up see him somehow, or I don't remember talking to him. Maybe these people were dragonkin or something. Here's what this black goop is. Where were you, Raha? So, according to them, this black gunk, this place was melted. Wonder why. Or how. Alphino, come on, you've battled actual ghosts before. I like the music here. It's hard to put into words. The music sounds, you know, dead, as it should, but it's also giving me this strange vibe of, like, say, in a horror movie where there's a, I think it's not xylophone, gramophone, something like that, one of those old music vinyl things, and the record, I can't really explain it. It has like a haunting, echoey kind of feel to it, like you're hearing it in the background through static. Does that make any sense? So the music, I don't know what music is, but the music is very appropriate here. And I can only imagine what you can farm on this place. Oh, Estinian. Why don't we call him on Link Shell? Or the Link Pearl? Oh, right, because apparently they don't keep them in their ears at all times. How silly of me. Yeah, that's not a pleasing thought. Thanks for the warning, though. Yeah, some really intense heat went down here. Curious what those firefly-like things are. That's half true. Found that weird inscription. Well, here's another idea. Why don't we just press the teleport button and all be teleported back to the ship? Thancred, provided he has the device on him, will come with us, right? Yeah, they are pretty creepy dragons. Don't tell me you don't see them. Well, that explains a little bit. Okay, so there's these ghost dragons around that only Zio can see. Why? Oh, maybe you can see them too. You got dragon blood in you. Pretty sure this might be like a Heidelin's blessing kind of deal as to why Zio can see them. Stinian, I'm guessing his might be dragon blood. Or he might want to talk about something else entirely. Who knows? Mm-hmm. Ah. That's also a very good explanation. I didn't think about that. Hmm. Would have been cool if I got the Midgard Solmer mount right there. Oh, look at that Aetherite. And look at those dragons. Oh, they can actually talk. I wonder if that's because they're white and not, you know, black. White being good, black being bad, that kind of deal. Well, this is the first one I saw, so I'll talk to it. If I can. It might just ignore me. That's depressing. Again with the machines. It's weird that they're calling them machines. I wonder if they mean that literally. Notice they're also spelling worm correctly. I guess I was right to call her Walk Dainty. But yeah, obviously don't drink the water that looks like oil. That's probably not good. Okay, well, you're still alive. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, considering how they're all feeling right now. Yeah, and that's the full circle. That I don't know. Well, the fact that you can see them, probably not. Yeah, so I don't think they're ghosts, despite their pale appearance.
Dragons? Here?
What you see is a memory of a world that once was. A world suffering a slow death, whose denizens cried out for the release of oblivion.
What? Their world is dead?
Keep up, Alphanel.
Not a single life remains upon that husk floating in the vast emptiness. These creatures are shadow and shade, perpetuated only to suffuse dynamis with their unending lamentations.
Excuse me. So they're kind of
Our
ghosts.
friend Thancred. Where is he?
Thank you.
A strange question. He is at your side, is he not? Oh yes. He is here and there, and everywhere within this space. He would tell you himself if he had form to form words. Huh. Such loathing and uncertainty. You don't know why you still exist. In like manner to the oblivion I send, I tried to drown out your ether with dynamis. Beginning with this Thancred, who came at me despite being unable to breathe. Such a simple thing, unmaking men. In the blinking of an eye, he was gone. Didn't even have the chance to be transformed. Yet somehow, he managed to leave a slither of himself behind. What you call the heart? Or perhaps the soul. In his final moment, he cried out from it. A single word.
A name.
Survive.
Ah.
That wish proved stronger than the despair that ruled here. It overpowered it, causing this space to be remade.
Interesting.
Into a place you can perceive, and where life can endure.
Okay, so they do explain
That you
it.
draw breath is proof that his soul lives on. For how long, however, remains to be seen.
See, I was actually not thinking that specifically, but I was thinking earlier that it goes back to, I can't remember exactly what happened because it's my memory, but basically when the elephant lady was saying, you know, I believe you guys will win, and thanks to Akasha, Dynamis, if I'm able to send that emotion up there with you, maybe it'll tip the scales in your favor even a little bit. If Thancred's fervent wish to survive was enough to bring, you know, this place life, even for a little bit, then you all should probably guess where I'm going with this. But we'll see.
Well then, we should hurry and tend to business. Huh?
It's futile. You will never reach the true me. I told you, emotions dictate reality in this space. Such changes as you might work will not alter its nature. You may see, but you cannot touch. Walk, but not advance.
Meteon holds too much sway here. How do we contend with a foe who can unmake us on a whim?
I have a question about that.
I do not know. But Thancred gave his life that we might come this far. We must press on.
I'm guessing his gameplay logic again. What's stopping her from just doing it again? Because she didn't mention, she mentioned, you know, why we can breathe here. Fair enough. But she didn't go on to say, oh, and I would do the same to you all, but Thancred's fervent desire for you all to survive is preventing me from doing so. It's that damn powerful. If she said that, cool, okay, but she didn't. So aside from this would be the end of the story, why did she not just Thanos snap us too?
Agreed. We cannot turn tail here. Not without something to show for our comrade's sacrifice.
I don't know how to feel about that. Because I don't see why they would fake it out. And even though I said, you know, someone dies, they should stay dead because remove the emotional weight, that's still true. But there's no weight here. One, Thancred died off screen. Two, no one seems to care. So I actually would like for Thancred to come back because he just He died and no one seems to care. There is no emotional weight. So nothing would change if you bring him back, besides obviously people feeling better. Because if Thancred is actually dead, he shouldn't have went out like that. Yeah, maybe we can bring him back. Give him an etheric body or something. I'm glad she said that, but her eyes are, you know, still that blinded look. Because she mentioned it earlier, so I thought maybe she meant her ether vision was slightly different, or maybe some of her true sight came back. But according to that statement right there, she should be able to see like us now, even though she still has the blindness in her eyes. I'm guessing she can also still see the ether and stuff. Well, if this place is ruled by emotion, what's stopping any of us from just willing, with such emotion, to punch Medion right in the face? Could our combined emotions not be strong enough to do that? See? Yeah, me too. I mean, at least some of them were kind enough to be like, hey, you shouldn't linger here very long, it'll kill you. Man, it really brings to this into I've seen that person before, Tiny Boots. Can't remember where though, but it really brings into retrospect, that's probably the wrong word, how despair would affect dragons, because Nidhogg being an excellent example of his burning rage didn't dissipate despite the, what, thousands of years or however long it was. If anything, it got hotter. It's because their passage of time is different from ours. So just saying that really makes you understand somewhat the despair they must be feeling. You know, if you're not here to kill me, then just leave. I don't want you to remind me that time has been passing, to further emphasis just how bad things are. Before they came, the metal men, the machines. Wait a minute. I didn't... Okay, so this one just wants to drain. That's not quite as bad as asking to be killed. I didn't dawn on me at first. They just said machines, and that could be anything. But that dragon specifically said black and silver. There's only one black and silver machine I can think of. and that's Omega, but they said machines, plural, even though it wouldn't be impossible for Omega to make copies of himself, or itself. Not ready to say that it's Omega just yet, but that definitely caught my attention, that it's a machine life form that's black and silver. Yeah, the weather in space is fair skies. Who knew? I mean, if you say so. I can't believe they let that slip. I was obviously making a joke. That's obviously the weather for, like, say... That's obviously the weather for, like, say... Lagos or whatever that area was. I don't remember. Hopefully you all do. But you would think it would have a special atmospheric condition. Yeah, because wasn't Midgard Sommer being chased by Omega? Oh, yeah. Aw. Oh, that's pretty sad. I thought they were like just this. I didn't expect to see like an actual dead baby dragon in there. Yeah, me too. It also doesn't have that sickening black color on it. Just the cheery music we needed after such a grim revelation. That is a hunt if I've ever seen one. Yeah, I thought so. That's cool. I accidentally found a hunt in one of the second area, I guess, in the expansion. And now I find one at the end area of the expansion. What are the odds? Aw, that's sad. It's like a tiny nidhogg. It didn't even seem to care that it was being attacked. Probably it didn't. Mm-hmm. Yeah, see, I find this much more sad than old grandma turning into a monster or little boy being stepped on. Genuinely much sadder. For a second there, it caught me off guard. I see they're doing that awkward spelling again. I thought it said a test of wool. I was like, no, that can't be right. That's got to be will. That weird eye threw me off for a second. It looked like it was making a U shape. The war. Speaking of the war, that could not have been better timed. I guess I say I'll accept that since I didn't get Midgard's armor earlier. In a manner of speaking. Excuse me. Fair enough. Hope. That's literally the first one that comes to my mind. Hope. Belief. Interesting perspective. Exactly. I love how much of a genius your Stola is. I know I talk about it not a lot, but it just can't help but mention it because she thinks of things I wouldn't have thought of, but then when she says them out loud, it makes sense. Oh, was he the one who told me not to drink the water? That's almost as appropriate. This is my favorite bird, by the way. see, look at that. Who would drink that? But apparently you can fish in it, so... I can only imagine the monstrosities that you could fish out of that water. I guess I'd beat the others here.
He remaineth as he was when I first approached, entombed in melancholy.
I see. Perhaps I could...
I'll handle this.
So... waiting to die like all the others, are you?
This...
I hate to do this again, though his isn't that annoying, ear-piercing sound that the ancients speak in. It does drone on a lot, so I'm gonna have to skip some of the audio.
So you say. Yet your kind has found a new beginning on our star. One of you braved the Expanse, bearing with him a clutch of eggs. They and their children now rule our skies, their song heard by all. They suffered much, and repaid their suffering in kind. Had your brethren made the selfsame choice, my family might still be alive. Yet lasting peace does not come to those who simply retreat from conflict. No, you must be willing to confront it, to stare into the face of your foe, and see yourself in him. Only then can you break the cycle of torment and tragedy. This lesson, a dear friend taught me at the risk of his life. There is no nobility in your penance. You wallow in self-pity.
Hence why I don't like pity parties, even my own.
And after everything we've endured, we will not let you stop us.
Interesting.
Estinian! Stay back!
Unseen.
This is the emotion that bars our way. The rest is up to you.
I feel like I've seen this before.
No! Not Estinian too!
Wind.
There's a wind.
He's opened the way for us. Sacrificed himself to remake this place, like Thancred did.
Oh, Alphino.
Come. Let us follow the wind. It will not lead us astray. He would not.
No tears for Thancred, huh? I know, Zio. I know. Like, seriously, man, no one gave a shit that Thancred died. Okay, but that's enough of that. I'll stop bringing it up unless it becomes relevant again. One more time, though. No one gave a shit that Thancred died. I'm almost amazed at that. Like, I'm not expecting them to bust out in tears or anything, but I was expecting, like, you know, some... That's an interesting choice of horse, considering the area. I was expecting, you know, a little bit of, you know, respectful quiet, or that forlorn look on someone's face, or that moment of silence where they just look down at the ground, or, like, you know, just... Thancred. You know, just something. But they didn't care. But Estinian dies in a heroic-esque kind of way, and at least Alphino sheds a tear for him. Some manly tears, in fact. Oh man, what is this story doing to me? Yeah, so much for doing this with the 8-man Scions. Which reminds me, I do need to check the journal. It's like, you know, fair enough. Alphino was obviously closer to Estinian than Thancred, but still. If anything, then I would expect a reaction out of Y'shtola. She was pretty close to Thancred. I don't know what that thing is above us. Maybe it's the moon. Or what used to be a moon. Or who knows, maybe it's Median. I was going to wait till after the conversation, but I was noticing there weren't words quite so fanciful to describe Thancred. All he got was, and to be fair, it was good, but not like this, where if it was for Thancred, we wouldn't even be alive right now. Fair. Very big deal. Where was this for Thancred? Okay, now I'll stop. For a second there, that angle confused me. Then I was like, oh, right. I had Zio look up at whatever the heck that thing is. Don't tell me that's Raha's way of saying he's next on the chopping block. I just want to come back to what Y'shtola said, where she's obviously right. We don't have time to actually grieve them. Fair. But again, Estinian got a better send-off than Thancred. And make no mistake, there is no bias here. There's those weird words again. Rove paid sacrifice. I think that's what that says. I don't know why it's in that weird text. Like, what's the implication for this? But yeah, we don't have time to actually grieve them. Oh, right, I was saying there's no bias. There's no bias. For them, at least my favorite Scion for sure is definitely Raha. Thancred would be anywhere between second, third, or fourth, just depending. But there's no bias between those two. I'm just straight up telling you like it is. Yeah, the last thing we want is to step on a sinkhole in space. Curious that there's a white void above us, or below us, and then that black thing up there. I think the music might be different. It's like really, really soft, so it's kind of hard to tell. Okay, good. Let me guess. You hate sand? Other one. Okay. I saw someone with a minion of those things in the background. Not sure what the giant form is called. Oh, well, there you go. And there's an aether current, so... Those trees over there almost gave me a spook because I thought they were enemies. When I glanced at them, they looked like the humanity from Dark Souls 1, the really creepy looking enemy. Speaking of creepy things, the lunar sabotender ends up being a minion. It's even creepier as a minion because it's super tiny and super thin. Empty promise. I do like seeing the AoE names of some of these creatures. What a strange body. You know, like Missed Opportunity or whatever that one was called. Pretty unique name for a mob. I was expecting it to be a hunt, but since it's only level 89, it's unlikely. Yeah, see, there's another one. Other one. Hey, look at that. This thing reminds me of Majora's Mask. I'm not going to say exactly what, because for those of you who know, you should obviously know. But does this not remind you of a certain thing in Majora's Mask? Might remind you of two certain things, but one for sure. Neat. Excuse me. That's a interesting name. Isn't that interesting? These beings can possibly create new bodies, you know, for people who might be recently deceased. Okay. Oh, don't worry. I already took care of one. Well, what can I say? Despair makes people do irrational things, to say the least. We already got that one. You know, be actually fair. There we go. just so we don't have a repeat performance of what happened last time, I'm going to get this Aetherite right now. Okay. Y'shtola might be seeing some interesting things. Almost as interesting as that Aether current. Guess Raha and Urion J are over there somewhere. Yep, I see one of them, or something at least. Oh, yeah, that's him. For a second I thought it might have been one of those player characters I saw earlier. course, there's a spider one. I'm gonna say yes, even though they realistically shouldn't. Wonder if there's any bird versions of the Luminian. But yeah, judging by what that other one said, if they can choose what form to take, then they all shouldn't look the same. Someone must be having trouble sleeping. Unless, of course, this is the uniformed form they choose to take, even though they could look like something else. Not really. Flesh abandoned. I didn't pay attention to that other one. I'm going to start paying more attention now because I thought only the advancing quests would have the strange text. What was that one called? Roads paved? Yeah. Oh, yes, from the last one. Okay. I wish they'd stop doing that. Okay. Just go around and everyone does it? Not sure how much I trust incorporeal beings who want to have physical bodies back. Especially the... Oh, they're all awake now. Especially the ones that are more overzealous, as he put it. Oh, they're really doing the ET thing. I guess that was kind of neat to come over here and see that. Their naming scheme reminds me of a race in the first, but I cannot remember which one. Right. No. I don't think my viewers are ready to hear my thoughts on that. That's taking the whole depressed ghost thing a bit too far. Oh, I like a big one. Oh yeah, I should talk to them too. At least I forget. Huh. So they probably know what that thing is. Yeah, that's one word for it. Yeah, you try it, it'll be the last thing you ever do. You'll get that death wish all right. Yeah, funny that. Yeah, what if I'm not hungry? What about that? Fine. Put in your little dinner. Yeah. So they're ghosts of ghosts. Speaking of food, I'm starting to get hungry again. Oh, so that's what y'all did. Okay. That's a good observation. Yeah. Where knowledge leads. I like how knowledge has the infinity symbol in it. That's clever. Oh, Alpha, no. So innocent. I was gonna say the music up here is pretty good too. Now that I actually got to listen to it. It wasn't as empty as the first zone with the dragons. Oh, that's interesting. So it's deep enough to swim in, but not deep enough to dive, despite that growing blackness. Alright. I mean, the water at least looks cleaner than whatever was going on down there, though I still wouldn't drink it. Yeah, of course. Come on, Zio, don't be surprised. These are probably both correct, but I would not have guessed to have said this, but I would have guessed to say this. Mm-hmm. Cursed existence. How many times have I had to say it? Alright, so Urianger is next, or at least wants to be. The others are not going to be happy about this. Least of all Alice. Pretty sure your Stola could handle, you know, the shock of it. Alphino too, but Alice has always been the hothead, so she probably won't tolerate it that well. Because she's actually pretty close to Urianger. Closer than Alphino, I believe. Or she was at one point. Why, thank you. Yeah.
Please continue. Tell us about this truth you discovered.
Very well. Bear in mind, however, that the purpose of this conversation is not to impart scholarly knowledge, for such requires that you comprehend the subject matter, which you will not. We will forego the intricacies of our scientific methodology and deal only with the conclusion, the end of our society and our world. We acknowledge, with regret, that your star is in the midst of the same panic-induced cataclysm that befell Deneb 3. As such, in order to avoid causing undue distress, we will refrain from explicitly stating how much time you have remaining.
You are entirely too kind. I pray you recount your tale as you see fit.
In the beginning, the universe was but a tiny particle. Then suddenly, this particle began to expand. Having remained entirely in the bounds of your star, the phenomenon may be difficult for your kind to grasp. But this expansion has since continued unabated. Speculating that the universe could not grow indefinitely, we sought to learn what might occur, and made a worrying discovery. The stars will continue to spread apart, as will their finite thermal energies. Eventually, all heavenly bodies will grow cold and freeze. No new stars will be born, and the universe will enter into an eternal ice age. In hopes of proving that this determination was erroneous, we scrutinized our research from all angles, even as we sought to avert the everlasting winter. The endeavor proved fruitless. So infamously so, in fact, that it became synonymous with vain effort. The universe as we know it would end, and there is no way to prevent it. Beneath the weight of this knowledge, our society stagnated. Though we had time still, it was a cold comfort. Why strive for anything when desolation is assured? When our wealth of wisdom, accumulated since the dawning of our kind, would be forever lost. No civilization would rise from our ashes. No scholar recover our knowledge. In silence unbroken, naught would stir. Intellect was once our pride. Overnight, it became our shame. Our works, monuments to futility. Immortality, our greatest invention, became a source of suffering. Rather than suffer on, many chose to unmake themselves by means of etheric exsanguinators. Etched upon these stones are the testaments of such souls. Though many left no words at all, thinking it a pointless gesture. Once we have obtained vessels of flesh, We likewise intend to vanish. If you understand this, understand aught of our tale, you will abandon your quest for knowledge. Ignorance truly is bliss. If you would cling to your illusory happiness, remain primitive and pure. It is the only way.
So that's your story. While I appreciate your advice, I will not heed it. Convinced though you may be of this truth, it is yours and not mine. Indeed, truth, I have ever believed, is in the eye of the beholder.
Are you suggesting that we have reached a faulty conclusion? That our science failed us?
Hardly. As you yourself said, the subject matter is beyond my comprehension. And that, I accept, is true. I do not possess the knowledge to prove or disprove your conclusion. In my mortal years, I doubt I could even approach the wisdom of the Air. But of one thing am I absolutely certain. I would not be happier in ignorance.
Y'shtola, no! You mustn't!
The most important lesson I've learned is that learning isn't simply passing one's eyes over words. Nay, 'tis when understood for oneself that knowledge attains its true value. This is what has sustained me, driven me onward in joy and wonder, in anger and sorrow. The universe may end, and all may be for naught, but I will live as I always have. I will always seek out new knowledge, and no conclusion of yours, no matter how grim, can dampen my desire.
I suppose it is only to be expected. Their feeble minds cannot fathom the terrifying gravity of it all. But worry not. We consider it our duty to enlighten you, and we will not stop until you grasp the full extent of our despair.
Keep calm, and listen well. Though my body will soon dissipate, there may be a way to restore it. Azim's magic. So long as our souls remain, you can use it to summon us back.
Good thinking.
But you mustn't, for it would mean losing our way forward. This I only reveal so that you can promise not to invoke the magic. We came here knowing what victory may cost, so press on. Press on, and do not look back.
I shall join thee. As subterfuge is not required, thou shalt not suffer for mine absence. My resolve hath never been as strong as thine. Full oft have I wavered in my decisions, and afterwards been stricken with regret. In spite of this, I may still stand with my comrades, supporting them as they attempt the greatest of feats. This truth I have learned in the course of our journey. And many though my shortcomings may be, I may also claim to excel in prophecies. My studies, into which have granted me the flexibility of mind needed to bend this malleable reality. Thus shall I hope that thou mayest have the strength to resist, and our comrades the strength to continue.
With you to urge us on, how could we possibly fail?
What's this? An extinguished civilization. Rekindled.
That's right. Our quest doesn't end here. We'll press on, and we will find you.
There. That's where you'll find me.
Called it.
Is that another star?
Of the stars we visited, most were already devoid of life. And where there was life still, the inhabitants wished for death. But even death, we learned, isn't truly the end. It is but a part of the cycle of rebirth. Souls return to the star, or in its absence, a larger flow. And eventually they are reborn, alive again, to know suffering anew. True salvation lies not in dying. It lies in not being born. This is the gift I would give to you. To all life on beautiful Etheris. To that end, we created an egg wherein life cannot quicken. That dead sun. Attain it if you can, before your friends' emotions fade away, along with their protection.
Well, I knew Urianger was up for bat, but I didn't expect Y'shtola, and I didn't expect him to then step up. Is that right? You're the one I was most concerned about. Alright, well, good. Victory... Allies lost, maybe? I'm not sure what that one is. The middle is absolute gibberish. I almost forgot to mention, but that right there kind of reminds me of Soul Calibur, specifically Soul Calibur 3, I think it was, Soul Calibur 3? Yeah, that feels right. Where one of the secret bosses in the game is called Night Terror. You know, that arena? Doesn't that remind you of Soul Calibur? Speaking of, when I said called it, I know that I said, you know, is that her body or whatever. I was going to say this out loud, but chose not to, because to me they're pretty much one and the same, but that's where Medion is, and sure enough, she was. What gave it away to me was, one, the fact that it's just so ever-present, looming, and the second was when I saw those Aya ghosts worshipping it, for lack of better terms. That's what kind of gave it away for me. Oh. Okay, well, this definitely leads credence to my Omega theory. I looked away for a moment and ended up killing it. Tell me about it. I was just gonna make a beeline for the Aetherite, but obviously that's not allowed. Okay, that's kind of creepy. Yep, still creepy. Oh, they have striking dummies here. and an aether current. Who knew? Even machines have souls, apparently. It's moments like this that make me wish I had the Omega mount, but I do not. That's a cannon. Oh, well, you know, friendly creepy robots. How about that? Oh, that's cool though. I like their chat bar. Wait a minute, how are you here? I just thought about that. You can't just be a machine. You have to have some kind of soul to be here, right? Yeah, okay, so I'm really interested in this race, but whatever the heck that is over there. Right. So as I was saying, as curious as I am to find out how are these machine life forms here, you know, being machines, though I do have some theories on that, I'm going to end it here. I think we've had enough sacrifices one episode, especially that 2-for-1 deal we got a few minutes ago. So with that in mind, thank you all for tuning in, and we'll see you around.